If anyone at YouTube or the COPA oversight thinks that I lied and this video is actually made for kids, please consider the following. Fuck, bitch, shit. Have a nice day and enjoy the review. It's oddly quiet. No collabs planned, Coolman's busy at a gig, Jet's out, text is... okay then. Zion is likely waiting to edit my next review, so it is best to not keep him waiting. Cue intro and spoiler alert. Spoiler alert, I'm getting tired of recording a new one each time, but it's now a thing I do, so screw you past self. Spoiler alert, that is all. This comic is written by Jeremy Whitley, art by Agnes Garbowska, color by Lauren Perry, letters by Neil I can't pronounce your last name, and edited by Bobby Curnow. It begins with Spike reliving the events of Dragon Quest, when it is interrupted by Luna asking him to answer the door. Wow, Luna, you couldn't just, knock louder? A little, invasion of privacy just to... whatever. Flashing to the real world, Spike wakes up and answers the door to find Luna, whom needs his help. They opt to let Twilight sleep, and for some reason don't leave a note, before heading to Philadelphia. Along the way, Luna explains that there has been a series of fires at night. As the Princess of the Night, it is her job to investigate. I suppose that checks out. How can Spike help, you may be wondering? Well, the police think the fires might be the doing of the local Dragontown population.
Wait, what?
Oh, goody. This comic is racial profiling. Fun. Anyways, Luna hopes that Spike, being a dragon, might be able to talk to the dragons and get to the bottom of it. Apparently even Luna racial profiles. Spike is kind of worried because at this time, Gauntlet of Fire hadn't been released. And so Spike had not had many good experiences with dragons. Luna tries to comfort him by saying he sounds like a younger her, which, given when Luna was younger, she kinda went crazy and tried to take over the world.
Of course.
That kinda makes me worried for Spike. Are we gonna get a Nightmare Spike? Please tell me we're getting a Nightmare Spike. Be better than the last Nightmare main 6 character. So they descend on the city at the most recent arson scene, where they encounter Ride-Along, a pony who went through the police academy, graduated top of his class, and all he wanted to do was be a police siren. And they let him. I really hope they aren't using taxpayer money for his paycheck. That hardly sounds like a necessary job. So they find out that Officer By the Book and Officer Hardcase are the leads in the case. Hardcase is not too fond of the princess's oversight, nor the presence of Spike, and so he storms off. Also, as just a little interesting thought, episodes like Sleepless in Ponyville, For Whom the Tweety Bell Toils, Bloom and Gloom, and the fun and action-packed Do Princesses Dream of Magic Sheep, I can say that Luna's powers kind of are a bit creepy.
Oh, what was your first clue?
Because, She knows that Hardcase hasn't been sleeping well, like, kind of invading privacy? Like, is there a way to prevent Luna from getting into your dreams? Because I would very much like that, because that's just weird. I don't want her knowing what I dream about. Back to the story, Vi gives them a tour of the crime scene. The fire seems to have spread from a single source, as if some dragon were blowing fire as they walked down the hall. There is also no witnesses, as the building was an office building and therefore closed at night. There is also no reason that any pony or dragon would have a beef with the building. So there is literally no motive, and Vi even states that he was a beat cop in Dragontown and they seemed friendly, although since the whole fires and investigation have started, no dragon will talk. Spike has had a very different experience with dragons, though those were dragons in the wild, and apparently the dragons of Dragontown are not like the ones Spike has met. In fact, they act much more similar to how the dragons kind of act when they become nicer to ponies in the last few seasons of My Little Pony. So I guess the retconning of their shitty personalities had to happen at some point, and it began with this comic. So they send Spike to do the investigation. I'm not entirely sure if anything he finds will hold up in a court of law, but okay, why not? Unfortunately, he does not get very far. All the dragons are just more concerned with slamming the door in his face. So he gives up and heads to the local Dragontown comic book shop. Dragon Comics. Such a creative name. Then they mention, quote, that one time Humdrum was a dragon, which is supposed to be a callback to Power Ponies. However, it's not really a good callback. The comic in that episode was a special comic purchased at the Canterlot House of Enchanted Comics. Spike became Humdrum due to the enchantment on the comic. Humdrum is still a pony. We, the audience, are simply seeing Humdrum as a dragon. In the same way that the Power Ponies themselves, according to another comic, are not the main 6 colors or even have the same personalities. Heck, Masked Matterhorn is a unicorn, not an alicorn. The comic writer needs to understand that it's a trope in television that when any kind of body swap or character takes over the persona of a fictional character plot occurs, they show the audience who is who by swapping things like voice or color palette or whatever. It's not actually happening. But whatever, rant over. Spike is looking at a Power Ponies comic when he is startled by the clerk dragon. Her name is Mina, and she is probably the biggest Luna fanboy, well, next to Silverquill's inner fanboy. Luna! Through conversation with her, along with learning the dragon slang of red rubies, he finds out that it could be a pony framing a dragon. Since ponies can make magical fire, it's not completely outside the realm of possibility. She also calls Spike out on his dragon prejudice, which he then relents on his idealistic interpretation of ponies by listing off bad ponies that exist, like Sombra, Flim and Flam, Diamond Tiara, Silver Spoon, and even Luna when she was younger and was Nightmare Moon. Anyways, Spike brings his findings to the police. Hardcase just simply laughs at him, and Luna tells him that she is disappointed. She wanted him to find real information, not just taking the words of some pretty girl. However, by the book, thinks that there might be a chance that Spike is right, but he needs more proof and a way to keep buildings from burning. Meanwhile, a curfew has been implemented in Dragontown, and the dragons, understandably, are not too happy. Among them, Mina. She encourages Spike to keep pursuing his theory. Thankfully, as Luna's pet dragon,
that's racist.
Spike is able to walk freely after curfew, although he quickly realizes he has no clue where to start. Until he finds an odd trail of slime leading from the sewer. Following it leads him to the true fire starter. Oh, it's an adorable little fire snail. It's so cute. Aww, How could you possibly be evil? Although, unfortunately, Spike is a bit too late and the fire has already begun, as the snail's trail is apparently highly flammable. Spike manages to save the snail, but the blaze is raging on an apartment building this time, and he can't save every pony. He needs more dragons.
I gotta have more cowbell.
With the help of Mina and the other Dragontown dragons, every pony is rescued and the fire is safely put out. The comic ends with the police clearing the sewers of any fire snails and moving them to a place away from ponies. The dragons are heralded as heroes. Oh, and Spike introduces a very happy Mina to Princess Luna. Didn't mention it earlier, but I totally ship Spike and Mina. I'm not sorry. They're a much better ship than any other Spike ships out there. Don't at me. So this comic gets a 7.5 fire snails out of 10. It was cute, it was sweet, it tread on some touchy racial profiling issues, but in a kid-friendly way. It tries to remedy the poor depiction of dragons as of Dragon Quest, but instead leads to far more questions. How long has Dragontown existed? Is it new? If so, how new? If not, then why were there no books on dragons in Secret to My Access?
It just raises too many questions.
So, though it's a good comic that I would totally recommend to anyone interested in getting into the MLP comics in the wake of, the show ending, it does have a few canonical issues. Also, I would totally watch a Luna and Spike buddy cop spinoff. Hasbro, get on that shit. Well, that is my 2 bits on this comic. Tell me your 2 bits in the comments down below. And while you're down there, why not suggest a possible future spoiler alert, because I'm tired of making them up myself. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And also, you can support my 2 bits on Patreon. Every little bit helps. I'm Comic Sans, and I
stopped listening 10 minutes ago. All I asked you is how do you like being an agent?
Wait, what? How did I get to A-Gig? I was just at home. Oh shit.
Damn it, you sons of Roz.
Yeah! Luna! Oh, so this is a dream, I guess. You didn't happen to hear the part about me calling your dream walking creepy, did you? Really? I'm reviewing in my sleep now? I'll figure out some way to have Zion edit it. I'll just review the WrestleMania comic next. No pony will notice.
Sans never asked me to do anything like that. What's that?
I got a new pet.
And what is it?
A fire snail. His name is Fuego. Wanna say hi?
A fire snail? Why did you want a Where is it? Hey, there it is!
No. Get back here. Get back here. For a snail, you are
Get back here!
surprisingly fast.
Stop, you little bugger!
Fuego, no! That's the main gas line!
I should have stayed in the ceiling.
Ah!